Hi, Mel here, and in today's video I'll be sharing my recent experience flying business class with Turkish Airlines in one of their A350-900s. This was my first time flying with Turkish Airlines and I'd heard so many good things about them, so I was excited to experience it for myself. My flight from Istanbul to Chicago took a full 11.5 hours. Based on my time in their business class cabin, is all the hype about Turkish Airlines true? I hope you'll come along with me today to find out. And stick around until the end to learn how much I paid for this flight. It was much less than you might expect. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, I hope you'll hit the like button and subscribe. And with that out of the way, let's get started. My flight was scheduled to depart the Istanbul airport at 7:30 in the morning, but I was determined to give myself enough time to experience and review the Turkish Airlines Business Lounge because I'd heard how amazing and unique that lounge is. To make sure I had enough time, I left for the airport at 3:30 a.m., which I realize is a little crazy. I had arranged for my ride to the airport through my hotel, and the vehicle they used was unexpected but epic. It definitely woke me up and helped me start my day off on the right foot. It was so early when I arrived that some of the entrance doors were still closed off. Since I was flying business class, I knew I'd be able to save time at check-in by taking advantage of Turkish Airlines priority check-in lines. But the morning I checked in, there were no lines at all, which was a bit of a surprise to me. So I was in and out in record time. Clearly, I was the only passenger crazy enough to wake up in the middle of the night so I could visit the lounge. I made my way through security and quickly found myself in the Turkish Airlines Business Lounge. I enjoyed every second of my time there and will be doing a separate video on that lounge very soon, so stay tuned for that. But for now, it's time to head out and make our way to gate F3. Before I knew it, it was time to board. I took a peek at the A350-900 that would be my home for the next 11.5 hours. I was really excited as I headed down the jetway. Turkish Airlines A350-900 comes in two configurations. The one I would be flying offers 32 business class seats arranged in a staggered 1x2x1 configuration, where every seat has direct aisle access. It also offers 297 economy seats, divided into two cabins, each arranged in a 3x3x3 configuration. There's no premium economy or first class. In the business class cabin, if you're traveling alone, it's best to choose an even row window seat because they're closer to the window, offering a better view and more privacy. The odd row window seats are closer to the aisle and therefore not as private. If you select the middle section, the odd-numbered rows have seats next to each other, and the even-numbered rows have seats that are apart. There's a screen located between the middle seats that can be lowered or raised to half or full height to customize the level of privacy between passengers. I arrived at seat 4K and was immediately impressed by the look and finish of the area. The bespoke seats on this A350-900 are by Stelia Aerospace, and the quality is really impressive. The materials look high-end, and the color palette has a modern and clean look, with mixed shades of gray accented with what I would call gold. I also like the aesthetic created by the contrasting textures of the materials and the embossed stitching. Waiting for me at the seat were a pair of slippers and a small pillow for lumbar support. I put both to good use as soon as I sat down. The seat itself is very comfortable. As you can see, I have plenty of legroom. I assessed the space around me and was very impressed with how clean everything looked. Looking up and around, I could see how the layout of the cabin makes each seat feel quite secluded and private. Let's get a closer look at the layout of my pod. Straight ahead is an 18-inch high-definition touchscreen IFE display. To the lower left is the literature pocket. And right above that is a coat hook if you want to hang your jacket. The tray table is stowed under the IFE display and can be pulled out and unfolded to reveal a relatively stable surface. You can adjust how close or far the table is from you, but I'm pretty sure it would prevent you from exiting your seat when extended. Under the tray table are 2 levels of storage space. You'll probably want to use the top level to stretch out your legs, but underneath is a great place to stow your shoes or other personal belongings. On my left side is a side table with decent surface area and a lockable storage compartment. The compartment is on the small side, but I like that there's a universal power outlet in there, and I also like that you can lock it. Next to the compartment on the side of the privacy barrier is a hook to hang the noise-canceling headphones. And on the side of the locker closest to the seat is a mirror that you can pull out if you need to freshen up. Down below you'll find the control pads with which you can operate the lights. And also adjust your seat, put on the Do Not Disturb sign, call for assistance, or power up the Inflight Entertainment screen. And below that is the Inflight Entertainment remote control, which we'll look at more closely in a bit. The armrests on both sides of the seat can be lowered and stowed for sleeping, or raised for when you're seated. And if you're looking for a reading light, there are actually 3 on the privacy barrier closest to the window. They can be adjusted up or down to meet your needs. Last but not least, looking up at the ceiling, I was very happy to see individual air vents. I've been on flights without them that ended up stifling hot, so it's such a relief when you have some control over the temperature of your space. Turkish Airlines is known for their award-winning food and their so-called flying chefs who work alongside the other cabin crew, interacting with passengers, overseeing food preparation and cooking. Not long after I sat down, the chef personally delivered my menus and offered to answer any questions I might have about the selections being offered. Taking a look at the food menu and the beverage selections, I was impressed with both the food and drink offerings. Lots of interesting and varied options for both. Turkish Airlines works with the catering company, Turkish Dough & Co., to ensure what they claim is a 5-star dining experience in the sky. I have to admit I was pretty excited to see if this claim was true. Since my flight left early in the morning, they would be serving breakfast first and then the main meal service would happen shortly before landing. For the wines, in addition to the usual selections from places like France and Spain, they also offered Turkish options in each category. I really liked that. I discussed the menu with the chef and made my selections. So now that my order has been placed, let's check out the Amenity Kit. The amenities are packaged in a beautiful Ferragamo leather or leather-like pouch. This definitely ranks as one of my very favorite amenity bags. The light blue color is so beautiful, and the material is extremely soft and supple. So let's see what's inside. First, here are some light blue fluffy socks with grips. These are socks I actually might keep and use again. Next, a matching light blue sleep mask. Again, a step above the normal masks with the material and the slight contouring, and I prefer the color to the standard black mask I usually get. The earplugs made with recycled plastic come in a matching case. Toothbrush and toothpaste, and interestingly, the toothbrush is apparently made from wheat straw. A hair tie, that's an unexpected but thoughtful addition. Ferragamo body lotion. Ferragamo face mist. And Ferragamo lip balm. Even the inside of the case is nice with matching lining and pockets for easier organization. Overall, this was definitely a better than average amenity kit. Before I knew it, we pulled away from the jet bridge. And started making our way to the runway. In addition to being informative, I thought the animated safety announcement was cute and entertaining.
Koruyucu maskenizi ve varsa yüz siperliğinizi çıkarınız. Oksijen maskesini ağız ve burnunuzu içine alacak şekilde yüzünüze yerleştiriniz. Bantları çekilerek yüzünüze tam olarak oturtunuz ve normal nefes almaya devam ediniz. Diğer yolculara yardım etmeden önce kendi maskenizi...
And finally, time for takeoff. After the seatbelt sign was turned off, I made my first trip to the bathroom at the front of the cabin. The bathroom is standard in terms of size, but two things stood out to me. First, the molten brown amenities are quite nice. Second, as a germaphobe, I love how everything is automatic, including the flush button, the sink faucet, and the flap of the garbage. Later in the flight, I used the larger handicap-accessible bathroom located to the rear of the cabin. So let's take a look at that one too. As expected, it's very spacious. And like the other bathroom, molten brown amenities are offered. And the flushing button, the faucet, and the flap of the garbage are all hands-free. I love that. In this bathroom, I also noticed that there is an integrated bidet in the toilet seat. I made it back to my seat just in time for breakfast. The meal begins with everyone receiving a mix of starters. For my main dish, I also ordered the poached eggs Benedict, but without the toasted pied. And I also decided on a strawberry smoothie. The flight attendant brought me a hot towel right before the meal service began. Presentation of the starters was quite lovely. The yogurt with fresh fruits and homemade granola looked especially good. And honestly, I thought everything tasted great. I love breakfast, so I enjoyed every second. When I finished the yogurt, the flight attendant cleared my empty dish. I then tried the honeycomb with clotted cream on my bread, and I was in heaven. While I was still enjoying it, the flight attendant was back with my eggs Benedict. Again, it was very good. I did think it could use a little extra salt though, but I was glad to have a reason to use the adorable little minaret salt and pepper shakers. Completely full and satisfied, I decided that I better take a nap, especially since I had come to the airport so early. The flight attendant made my seat into a bed, complete with a seat pad, 2 pillows, and a comforter. I climbed in and found it very comfortable. The footwell wasn't the widest, but it was fine with me. But I can imagine it might be a little cramped for some people. Still, I thought it was a little bit wider than usual. I had also been given a smaller blanket in case I got cold later. As I looked up from my bed in the sky, I felt completely enclosed and cozy. I succeeded in getting a very solid nap of almost 4 hours, and then spent a few leisurely minutes enjoying the view. By this point, I only had 5 hours and 13 minutes left on the flight, just enough time to enjoy a movie and the main meal service. The remote control for the Inflight Entertainment screen is located right below the seat controls on my left-hand side. We were also given noise-canceling headphones, which were definitely decent. The headphone jack is right next to the seat controls. There's also a snack menu of options if you get hungry between meal services. I ordered some popcorn, which was probably not the smartest move since I had a big meal coming up, but I did enjoy it. The IFE screen can be controlled with the remote or as a touchscreen. I played around with the Voyager 3D options before deciding on a movie. When it comes to entertainment, Turkish Airlines offers plenty of choices. You can choose from hundreds of movies from all around the world, TV shows, music, and even live TV. The options are actually a little overwhelming. I usually try to watch a movie filmed in the country I'm visiting, so I selected a suspense movie called Ses Sonu Almayan Geese, which I'm sure I'm completely mispronouncing, so sorry. It was a strange movie, but very suspenseful, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The flight attendant started the pre-meal service, so I ended up enjoying warm nuts and red wine along with my popcorn as I watched the movie. And just as the movie took a dramatic turn, meal service began. Turkish Airlines tries to make their meal service feel special, and candlelight, even when it's from a battery-operated candle, definitely adds to the experience. For dinner, I would begin with appetizers selected from the trolley. For my main course, I chose the braised lamb shank, and dessert would again be presented on a trolley. I selected 3 of the many appetizers presented and also opted for a bowl of the creamy turmeric cauliflower soup. I'm embarrassed to admit that I'm not sure which appetizers I picked. I know most people love the trolley, but to be honest, it's just too much pressure for me. I feel bad making them wait while I try to figure out what I want, so I end up just randomly picking as quickly as I can and then not knowing exactly what I picked. Sadly, I think that the trolley is meant for someone much more decisive than I am. With that being said, though, everything was delicious. And if you know what my appetizers were, let me know in the comments. The lamb shank was served next, and I liked the presentation. I thought the lamb was a bit dry, but I loved the celeriac mousseline and the Mediterranean vegetables and wished that I had more of both. After the main course, I ordered tea and then had to select from a wide range of dessert options, again from a trolley. As I said earlier, I know others love the trolley experience, but I once again felt awkward and under pressure, so again, other than the dark and white chocolate trifle, I'm not sure what I selected. If you know, enlighten me in the comments. I can confirm, however, that I thoroughly enjoyed all 4 of my options. By the time I finished the meal, I thankfully had just enough time to finish the movie. It was intense throughout, and the ending didn't disappoint. I took a deep breath to decompress after that movie, and then turned to happier things like our landing. So how would I rank my 11.5 hours aboard Turkish Airlines A350-900? Is all the hype about Turkish Airlines true? Overall, I was very pleased with this flight. I liked the look of the space, everything was very clean, and the provided linens were great and included a pad and slippers, which not all airlines provide. Most importantly, my seat was comfortable for sitting and for sleeping. And I was happy to have my own air vent so that I could control the temperature of my area. I also think the food service deserves high marks overall. The food and alcohol offerings were varied and interesting, the onboard chef added a nice touch to the experience, and presentation was very well done. And other than the slightly dry lamb shank, everything was just delicious. Also, as I said earlier, I'm not a huge fan of the trolley, but I recognize that that's my own issue, so I can't count that as a con. In terms of service, the flight attendants were attentive throughout the flight, and while they weren't really the friendliest that I've ever encountered, they also weren't rude, and the service itself certainly wasn't lacking in any tangible way. Finally, all of the pre-boarding experiences were great, from check-in to the amazing lounge to a smooth and organized boarding process. So I was very happy overall with the experience. And if I also take into account how much I paid, I am ridiculously satisfied because I feel like I got a great deal. I booked my award flight in December of 2023 when Turkish Airlines was having a business class award sale for select routes for only 31,500 miles plus taxes and fees. I had been wanting to travel to Toulouse, France, and as luck would have it, the Toulouse-Chicago leg was on the list of eligible routes. So I snagged a business class ticket from Toulouse to Istanbul to Chicago for a mere 31,500 miles plus 365 euros in taxes and fees. Originally, the flight options for 31,500 miles only included flights with layovers in Istanbul, which didn't give me any time to enjoy there. But luck was on my side, and Turkish Airlines ended up changing the timing of one of my flights. So I called in to see if this meant that I could change the timing of the other segment and include an actual stopover rather than a layover. I was surprised but very happy when the agent said yes, so I was able to schedule a stay in Istanbul on my way home from Toulouse. In the end, I flew business class from Toulouse to Istanbul, spent 3 days enjoying Istanbul, and then flew Istanbul to Chicago, all for a grand total of 31,500 miles plus taxes and fees. A very solid deal. Thanks for coming along with me today. Comment below if you have any questions. And if you've experienced Turkish Airlines business class for yourself, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think of the trolley? Also, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want more travel content like this. It really helps the channel. Until next time, happy travels.